The first question is, can you tell me about the chronic conditions that you have and how long you've had them?
I've had high blood pressure since about 1999.
Okay.
And I managed that by trying to watch my diet mainly.
Okay.
And also exercising and taking my medication.
All right.
And the arthritis, that I deal with basically on a daily basis depending on what the situation is each day.
Uh-huh.
Again, the exercises, I do that and basically the same thing, but I also try to do yoga and the different exercises to keep moving and to keep from getting stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to move around and do as much as I can to stay active, in other words.
Right. And how long have you had the arthritis for?
I was told that I had it when I was a child, but
Okay.
It didn't bother me then. I guess it didn't really start until maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you said they said that you had it since you were a child?
Yeah, because, like when you go for your physical and they ask me, do such and such bother you, and have anybody told you you have arthritis, because they could see it, like, when they were doing the examination. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So I'm going to ask a little more specific questions about the conditions here. So, thinking back about when you were diagnosed with your high blood pressure, can you tell me how you felt about the diagnosis and maybe what was going on in your life at the time when you were diagnosed?
Okay. When I first found out, the doctor wanted to put me on medication, and I believe I was going through the problem with, this is my second marriage. I was going through the problem with my first husband.
Okay.
He was having a lot of medical issues, and things were getting very stressful with him. And I believe that's part of what brought my high blood pressure on. And it just kept progressing, because at first the doctor didn't put me on the medications, and then when I went back for another physical, he ended up putting me on medication. So I think it mostly was stressful situation regarding, when my husband was sick.
Okay. And when you were told or diagnosed with that, how did you feel about the diagnosis?
I wasn't satisfied with it. I was trying to do what I always been somebody who would try to eat right, basically because the type of food that you're supposed to eat right is the kind that I like. And I couldn't understand why, if I'm eating right, how is my pressure not right?
Right.
And that's when the doctor told me it's not always from what you're eating. And from there, I don't know. I just didn't understand it at that time until he broke it down to me and told me it's not only from what you eat.
Okay.
Because I also exercises. I also always did exercises too. So that's when I found out that it's a lot of stress is what causes your pressure to go up also.
Right. And then kind of similar questions, same questions for your arthritis, and I guess we can start when you said that, you started having issues with it about 10 years ago. How did you feel about the diagnosis, or, I guess since you already knew you kind of had it, but I guess the diagnosis about 10 years ago, how did you feel about it and what was going on in your life at that time?
I was at work and I tripped over something and fell, and I went to the doctor, and it didn't bother me right then. I didn't go to the doctor right then. I went to the doctor about a month later, and that's when they asked me, did I have arthritis, and it was bothering my lower back and side, and they said arthritis had developed in there. And looked like ever since then I've been having trouble with my lower back and my side. So I wasn't satisfied, but I knew I had arthritis, and I had heard people talking about arthritis, so I guess it just brought it on out. Seemed like when something happens to your body, that's when the arthritis seemed to click in. Yeah, so I wasn't happy about it.
Okay. So, you mentioned that, you weren't happy about it. Can you tell me a little bit, maybe, about, your thought process that went on? You know how sometimes when you get a diagnosis and you're not happy about it, there's things that are kind of going through your mind that you're frustrated with, or
yeah, because so many people say they have arthritis, and you have to try to figure out what to do to make it better, because things work different for other people. So I just couldn't understand. I would get frustrated about it because don't care what I would do, look like sometime the exercise would help and sometime it wouldn't, because I was stiffing up, and it just like aches and pains. There's nothing you can do about it. So I was trying to find different things trying different things to see what would help. And the exercise, I before this pandemic started, I used to go to the water all the time. And that seemed to help a lot after I get out, get in the water. So that's what I was using a whole lot to try and make it feel better. So that did make me feel better, because you're there with people and you're doing the exercises along with people in the water. So I would feel better about it at that point, because I would go just about every day.
You said that, along with the exercise, interacting with people was also a positive thing for helping deal with it.
Yes, because when I went, it was getting in the water. I would take classes getting in the water. So we would, the instructor was teaching us how to do different things, and she would also tell you what it would help. So they had an arthritis class, so we would take the arthritis class, and then sometime the aerobics classes. And seemed like when I was around people and they're doing the exercises just like I am, it keep you focused on that, and then it just, I don't know, that water just made it feel better. So that's what I used to do up until, like I say, up until this pandemic started.
Okay. So this kind of leads me into the next question. You've kind of talked a little bit about this already, but could you tell me a little bit more about, how do you manage your chronic health conditions on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, again, I basically take it to